Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel today. This reading is for my lovely Virgos for December 25th. Ooh, we got our first card here. Through December 25th through December 31st. This is our last reading for our last week of the year. Let's see. For Monday here, the 25th, Virgo, we started off with the Hierophant. This card is the one that fell out of the deck in the middle of me shuffling. So we'll start with this guy, the Hierophant. I think this is really a good card to start the week off with. I feel like this card really shows that you have a good handle on the way that things are going. This, to me, can kind of seem a little bit like a suffocating routine, almost. The Hierophant is a card of doing things the way that they've always been, speaking from a point of like mastery over a subject, like a professor versus a student. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the Hierophant is indicated by like the Pope as a figurehead, so this is routine. December 25th, I feel like this is really you having your routine set and really making sure that things are moving smoothly. Let's move on to Tuesday for you. Tuesday, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse here. This is on Tuesday the 26th, which is our last full moon of the year, or full moon in Cancer. So the Eight of Cups in the traditional deck is a card of walking away from things that no longer serve you. So Virgo, I feel like, especially with this full moon, you're being called to let things go, being reminded of the way that you are nurturing yourself and the other people around you. I feel like this is really you not being able to walk away from the way that you have been doing things and the way that you think that they are supposed to be done. With the Hierophant as your first card of the week, moving from the Hierophant here to the Eight of Cups in reverse, I feel like this is you understanding that maybe the way that things have always been done are no longer working for you. But just because that we are aware of something doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to make those necessary changes. So this is you kind of in this stalemate mode of the way that things have been going have not been serving you, but still having that hesitancy to move on from the way that things have always been done. Wednesday, we move into the King of Wands. Okay, so I feel like you're kind of finally stepping into that power and understanding that you have the power at any point to make these changes. That once you recognize that something is not working for you anymore, this is you moving past that hesitancy for change and really taking up your power. This is you really understanding that you have total and complete influence over your life at any point in time to change what is no longer serving and working for you. So Virgo, I feel like this is really good for you. This is really you, moving into your confidence, moving into your ability and understanding that you have power and that you can make any changes that you want in your life and build the life that you want at any point. Let's see, moving on to Thursday. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so in reverse, this is a bit of a power imbalance, understanding that things aren't necessarily working in harmony. This could be related to you or another person. Pentacles are related to earth signs, and with Virgo being an earth sign, I feel like you specifically understanding that maybe you're giving more than you're receiving in a certain relationship. Relationship doesn't necessarily mean that it's with a person. This could be in your career, but it could also represent unfair power balances within your life. I feel like this is understanding and being aware of unfair power imbalances where you maybe don't have influence. As much as we like to say that you can change and do whatever you want within your life, there are some times that you have to actually learn to be okay with not being able to change everything at once. All right, moving on to Friday, we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. I usually read reversals as this energy being present but being blocked by something. Ten of Cups is typically your card of like emotional fulfillment and having so much of this fulfillment available to you in your life that you are able to have an abundance of it and share it with other people. And so I feel like whatever it is, this imbalance that you've been experiencing or that you've been made aware of this week, this imbalance here, getting this figured out and getting this sorted and taken care of is the key to achieving this emotional happiness. I get the feeling that it is almost for you like this feeling is right around the corner. Like you feel like you just have to keep pushing and keep trying, and that it feels like the goalpost keeps constantly moving for you. That's kind of what I'm getting here, is that you feel like you've been you know, chasing a mirage in the desert. Like, you're trying to reach this space of emotional fulfillment, but it keeps slipping through your fingers, and there's something here that you can't quite get a grasp on. I feel like you really have to understand what it is that you are wanting exactly. You have to get a lot more clear on your desires and your path forward. Understanding that achieving this perfect dream isn't going to happen overnight. It's something that is constantly put work into. Even then, sometimes we get to the point with these dreams or these aspirations where we achieve them and then they're not as fulfilling as we have thought that they would be. So I feel like this is you not only trying to achieve these things, trying to understand whether these things are actually going to bring you the emotional fulfillment that you think that you do. Let's see, Saturday, we move on to the Knight of Swords. Yes, so definitely feeling that mental confusion. The Knight of Swords here is a person that needs to get clear on their path. This is a person who's kind of been dilly-dallying a little bit. In the upright, this is an individual who's chilling here with these swords. They have this sword here, but they're not really like in a fighting stance. They're kind of more just observing and getting familiar with the sword. They don't look like someone who is wielding it with expertise. Although in the reverse here, this is you really being in a place of hesitancy and not necessarily feeling comfortable being a beginner with something. I feel like as I'm looking at these cards, you can see that they both kind of have this similar color palette to it. And in the reverse here too, so connected color-wise with the Ten of Cups, but it's also got this same downward triangle, this imbalance here that we see with this Three of Pentacles here. So I feel like this is a combination of understanding a power imbalance, but I feel like this is also really kind of like impatience. This is you really wanting to get to that Ten of Cups place and kind of having a half-baked plan without regards to this imbalance or power structure. It might also be an imbalance of the way that you're using your energy, because this Knight of Swords is evaluating and looking at this sword and not quite in this, you know, fighting stance. They're not quite making a movement. There's no dynamic here. This is kind of more of a still card. So I feel like this is like the hesitancy right before a strike with your sword. And so I feel like in the reverse here, just be a little bit more cautious about where you take your first step in this process. All right. And lastly, we have the Ten of Wands here for the last day of 2023. And so I feel like this is you evaluating what you're taking in to the new year with you. Ten of Wands here in the upright is carrying a burden more than you need to. And you can see that this person here is like bent over at the waist, like with this really, really heavy bundle of sticks on their back. You know, they're someone that's trying really, really hard and carrying a lot of weight, carrying maybe more than they can handle. So I feel like this, for you, Virgo, is really a message about what are you carrying with you into this new year? What are you carrying that maybe you can let go of? If you hold on too tightly to something, it leaves you without room to accept something new into your life. So if you're clinging too tightly to these burdens, these things from your past here, can leave you unable to accept the new opportunities coming in for you. Virgo, I feel like this is really your time here to evaluate what it is that you have within your wheelhouse and the things that are going for you into this new year. Yeah, I feel like you really just have to get clear on what it is that you want and understand what is serving you, what is no longer serving you, and being able to let things go. So anyway, thank you, Virgo, for being here today, and I hope you have a great Happy New Year.